This is the Fly On, and here's my season finale BelleCollective review. Just so you know, Aikisha got on Mr. Monday Night and fired Kingdom Reign Entertainment. Yes, indeed, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. However, this season finale episode opens up with Trice and Cliff discussing these duo grand openings, which honestly is reality TV's first duo opening by a black couple. Cliff is going on about how he's not paying for a sign that Trice ordered with the wrong measurements, and they're going back and forth. Trice says in her confession, it was probably my fault because it could be 6,000 inches or 8,000 inches, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So she's also upset about, the mixer that Cliff is having, and then afterwards it's supposed to be Glendale's birthday party. So we have Selena coming into Taste. She's going to be the bar manager, and she's making a signature drink for Taste. Trice said, why not have the best in the city running her bar? We know how Trice likes to big up people and then chop them down to size, as we've seen with Sophia. So the next thing we have, Selena is saying there's a lot to be done here. If you need anything, I'm here to help. Of course, she gets to complaining about Cliff per usual. So the next scene, we have Marie at church, and Bishop Stallworth got an old nasty roller set. Oh, nasty roller set coming through. And Marie, she has 4 children total, 3 boys, 1 girl. And they're going to seek counseling after the drive-by shooting happened at her home. She also states how she's thankful nobody was home because the part of the home that was shot up the most was Zuri, and that's in Zuri's room. She says she's often in her room. Zuri is like, I just want to be able to go in my room, but they feel unsafe, and my heart really goes out to them. So Bishop Stallworth recommends that, what about going through and getting baptized again? Marie recounts how she was she said she was baptized as a child, but not as an adult, and she thinks it's a great idea. So the next scene we come in, we got Glenn and LaTeisha at their home. LaTeisha's cooking, she making corn and rice and pork chops. And then Glenn comes in with Josh. And then he comes in and says, are those going to be crispy? Like, what the hell? You've been complaining, talking about she not prioritizing you. Now she cooking. Now you talking about, are those going to be crispy? So you getting a home cooked meal and you still never satisfied. Like, I can't take men like that. So since he wants to know about if the pork chops is crispy, LaTeisha wants to know if that paperwork for your new entrepreneurship is crispy. So she's giving him the paperwork that he needs to do all of these things, get the business registered, so on and so forth. And he's like, hold on, you doing a lot right now. So you don't put the cart before the horse. You ain't got your paperwork in order. You don't went out here and bought a box truck and did all of this stuff, and you ain't even got your paperwork in order. Crazy. So the next scene is, Marie gets baptized. It's very emotional. A couple bells show up. And then, I'm happy for her that she went ahead and got baptized again, and she's being renewed in Christ. Next scene is the grand opening. So they're doing Goddess Lents first. Trice is saying how she brought the city out. She got the mayor, and he fine too. The mayor and all of the who's who of Jackson, Mississippi coming to the opening of Goddess Lent, and it's an actual ribbon cutting. So, it's a nice event. The ribbon cutting goes well. Speeches were given. They go on to the inside. Selena and Tamra was over there hosting, and Selena was there. The rest of the bells had not really arrived yet. Selena says, wow, you did an amazing job in comparison to where she last saw it. She's like, everything goes well. Selena and all of her girls are there, and Selena's fiance are there as well. You have JJ and Sophia. They pull up in a 1946 vintage Chrysler, rolled out the red carpet for themselves. I mean, I don't know why they pulling up to somebody else's event like that, but hey, who am I? Maybe that's just how they do it in Jackson. So Jay runs into the girls on the inside of the building, and he embraces and hugs them. And then Sanjay wants to go outside after that happens to tell her mom that JJ hugged her or whatever. But to me, the message read that Sanjay don't want peace. Sanjay want to be mad. That's what it gives to me. I don't know. You guys can tell me what you think. That's just how that's what my spirit is telling me right now. So, she also tells her that, Selena also tells them that, Sophia did speak to her. And it was like, well, how did she speak to you? And Sophia, Selena was like, it seemed like she was speaking to me on the low. Maybe she didn't want JJ to know that she was talking to me. Like, does it matter? She spoke. Now you want to have an issue of, is she hiding it from JJ? Like, listen, girl, she's trying to balance between what her husband wants and trying to balance being cordial for the collective sake. Like, y'all gotta move on, because if you think you're gonna roll this into next season, you just working for Latrice being a bar manager, that ain't gonna cut it. I know everybody was like, we want Selena, we want Selena, we want Selena. But I'm sorry, y'all, these 8 episodes, what did Selena bring? Selena is not showing us that she is running her own business or anything like that. At least when you're in the collective, most of them, if not all of them, they all have their own business that they're running. Selena is working for other people. I'm just saying, y'all may not like it, but that's just what it is. So now we have everybody's on the inside. So we're getting ready. We're going to get down and go to the other location for the other opening, which is Taste. And that is where everybody just walks down the street to Taste. I love that it's in walking distance, and there were some great aerial shots that were taken that we could see that. So they all walk down, and the place looks amazing. Cliff did an amazing, amazing job. The place looks great. So there's a little area for the Bells and their husbands specifically. So Willie and Aikisha come, everybody's there. LP, Glenn, Trice, Cliff, everybody's sitting down and, vibing to the music because they have a DJ. And while they're sitting down vibing, Glenn comes in looking like something off the flea market rack. I'm sorry, I did not like that suit he had on. That's just my personal taste. So Glenn comes in and he kind of like snubs Willie by kind of giving him like an air handshake when Willie extends himself. So Willie's kind of like, what's up with all of this energy that I'm getting right now? So he's just kind of peeping the scene. So Glenn goes down and greets everybody else properly. And his wife, Trice and Cliff, they're sitting down. Willie looks at Aikisha like he's looking like, what's going on here? And Glenn is kind of mumbling something to Cliff. And Willie look at him straight up and he's like, what's up? What's the mumbling about? And Cliff turns and says, I don't know what's going on with your hair right now. I'm like, what? And Willie says, well, I got the best barber in the city. He was like, well, what's up with your head? And then Aikisha says, in her confessional, she don't like coming to places and feeling like she's being insulted. So the consensus is that, basically it gives that they're trying to say that Willie can dish stuff out, but he can't take it. And I'm like, this man is a retired Super Bowl champion. He can give it out and take it with the rest, because really that's all he's been doing this whole season has been, going back and forth with this banter. And then we come to find out when Willie does his confessional, he was like, this just feels different. This isn't the normal back and forth that they usually do. So, Willie was like, you and Dumb and Dumber, y'all seem like y'all got a problem. So Glenn was like, I don't think about you at all. Not a hair on my follicle, a follicle. He didn't say it right, however he said it. I don't waste a hair on my follicle thinking about you or something like this. And then Cliff gets up and stands up and starts grandstanding saying that Willie is a little fish in a little pond. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Now, Cliff been drinking, obviously, because y'all know when he gets saucy, he get to really carrying on. And then Cliff start hollering, I don't like Willie. I don't like Willie. And Aikisha said, forget all this. She jumps in and say, and we don't give a F what you guys think. I was like, oh, shit, it's going down. Now, do y'all think Aikisha should have stayed out of it? Or she has a right to defend her husband? And give me your thoughts on that. So I was seeing Aikisha's hype and Willie kind of getting hyped up too. You know, they're going back and forth. And some of the comments that was made is that, you know, they can they can suck his NFL balls or something to that effect. Or, men just going back and forth. So then Glenn says something else, and at this point, because Cliff is standing up, Willie's like, forget all this, I'm standing up too, because that's what we do. I'm from the Bronx, big Bronx energy. You're not gonna stand up over me. I'm gonna stand up as well. So we gonna be even if it's coming to what it need to come to. We gonna be on equal footing. So Willie says somehow Glenn started talking junk, and Willie getting involved, and then Cliff is in between, and then men being men, a tussle like ensued. But before that, Trice was trying to stand in between them and break it up, and Aikisha and LP are exchanging words, and it's some FUs, it's some hard Fs going around. So I'm not sure as well. Before the tussle started, the staff jumped in. It may have been production or taste staff. They get in between them. Somebody done scooped Glenn up like he was a shot of ice cream, baby. The way they scooped him up and moved him to the back, and that dude was that was smaller than Glenn. Shout outs to you. And Glenn and Willie ready to pound. Tisha and Aikisha ready to thump. And you hear LaTeisha saying, oh, this girl been trying to compete with me since the beginning. And I'm like, compete with you now, LP? I'm like, girl, can't nobody compete with you, sis. I'm so sorry. This girl is just, she's on a different, you're good in your lane, and Aikisha has her own lane. And you guys both drive each lanes well. But to say Aikisha is trying to compete with you, I think you need to stretch before that reach. All right. So now, after they tussle in a little bit, we don't see exactly what happens. Now the fallout goes to outside, and we don't get to really see what happens, outside. And the man, I gotta say, the man carried Glenn outside like he was a toddler. So the crowd disperses. We don't really get to see what happens. So the next day, they doing a pickup scene, and Aikisha's letting it be known that she's done with Trice while she's talking to Willie. She's like, there's been two main people. Anytime there's been drama involved, it's been LaTeisha Pearson and it's been Trice. She's like, I'm recognizing that Trice is a major problem, within the collective, and I'm done with her. Give me your thoughts. Do you guys think Trice is the problem in the collective, or do you think it's LaTeisha, or do you think it's both of them? Give me your thoughts on that. So then we have another pickup scene where Trice is talking to LaTeisha, and this is the first time I'm seeing Trice have LaTeisha Pearson over at her house. So an enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's the kind of vibes it's giving. So now they're saying that it's Aikisha and Willie's fault that the little brawl happened at Taste. And I'm like, you were sitting in the middle. Did you not see what happened? Your husbands are the ones that started this foolishness, and they just defending themselves. So they're having a whole conversation basically saying that they're ready to kick Aikisha out the collective. Some harsh words were said about Aikisha, and I'm like, y'all really never liked Aikisha at all. Like, it just comes across that these ladies, are really fake. because they're supposed to be squashing the beef and moving forward, but it just seems like all of that is just for show. And I think someone is jealous of Aikisha, and you tell me in the comments who you think I'm talking about. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that you're notified the next time I drop a recap. We all know by now that Aikisha done fired Kingdom Reign and she has let go of the BelleCollective. Miss Holly Cologne must have said, y'all not going to try to use me for a storyline and kick me out of a collective. And I have more to lose than any of you guys. Aikisha is a successful business owner, especially her and her husband. And I don't understand how you guys, not you guys I'm talking to, but how does a show lose a Super Bowl champ, retired NFL player, a sports correspondent, a family with a foothold in Jackson, Mississippi that really gives validation and credence to what it is that you're trying to do? How do you lose them? How do they fire you from the show? Give me your thoughts. Until the next recap, Auntie loves you. Bye-bye.